Did a nuclear war between Anunnaki gods destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? The detonation of nuclear weapons in the 20th century was not the first time, it appears, when humanity saw so terrible destruction, taking into account the consideration the work of Zecharia Sitchin, the book of Genesis in the Old Testament, Sumerian clay tablets, and archaeological evidence such as ancient radioactive skeletons. Researchers Chris Hardy revealed the ancient nuclear event that destroyed the Sumerian civilization and the power struggles of the gods, quote-unquote, that led up to it. The origin of humanity has long been the greatest question for many people. Scientists assume that life had been evolving for millions of years in oceans, and humans were just a result of this evolution. But ancient astronaut theorists have a different thought on the origin of humanity. They believe ancient gods Anunnaki came to Earth in the distant past and created humans by genetically modifying early humans to use them as laborers. Hardy explained in her book Wars of Anunnaki, Nuclear Self-Destruction in Ancient Sumer, how the Anunnaki came to Earth from the planet Nibiru, seeking gold to repair their ozone layer, and using genetic engineering, they created modern humanity to do their mining work and installed themselves as our kings and gods. And Anunnaki god Enki had a fatherly relationship with the first two humans. Then Enlil, Enki's brother, took over as commander of Earth, instating a sole god theocracy and a war against the clan of Enki and humanity for spoiling the Anunnaki bloodlines through interbreeding. This shift imposed a blackout not only of the very human nature of Anunnaki gods, but also of humanity's own ancient past on Earth. Two of Enlil's attacks against the Enki clan and humanity are described in the stories of the Deluge and the Tower of Babel. His final attempt after coercing the assembly of the gods, quote-unquote, into voting yes, was a nuclear bombing of 5 cities in the Jordan Plain, including Sodom and Gomorrah, which resulted in the destruction of the Sumerian civilization and the Anunnaki's own civilization on Earth, including their spaceport in the Sinai. The author revealed how after each attempt, humanity was saved by Enki, chief scientist Ninmah, and Enki's son Hermes. In the Lost Book of Enki, Sitchin claims that numerous ancient Sumerian texts uncovered to date, such as the Era Epos and Lamentations of Ur, record in vivid detail the Anunnaki nuclear war, in which nuclear weapons were deployed by the Anunnaki ancient astronaut gods in order to destroy the Anunnaki alien spaceport in the Sinai Peninsula, so as to prevent its seizure and control by the Anunnaki god Marduk during the factional Anunnaki ancient astronaut wars. And further, he stated at the heart of the dispute which led to the Anunnaki alien nuclear war between the Anunnaki gods was the ongoing rivalry for control of Earth between Anunnaki ancient astronaut gods Enki and Enlil, which would lead to the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, as well as the entire Sumerian civilization itself. The battle for control of the Earth between the Anunnaki alien gods Enki and Enlil, which would result in the Anunnaki alien nuclear war in Sumer, began in the earliest years of Anunnaki settlement. The Anunnaki nuclear war has its origins in the disagreement between Anunnaki alien gods over whether the Adam prototype they had created using Enki's expertise in genetics by merging humanity alien DNA with that of a hominid found on the African plains should be able to reproduce. Anunnaki god Enki defied his half-brother Enlil's directive preventing the Anunnaki ancient astronaut genetics team from conducting any further genetic experiments that would make the Adam prototype capable of independent biological reproduction outside the control of the Anunnaki research labs, so the numbers of human beings could be more easily controlled by the Anunnaki. And this Anunnaki dispute over the role of humans would set off a chain of events and intergenerational rivalry that led to the alien nuclear war and destruction of not only Sodom and Gomorrah, but the majority of the entire Sumerian civilization, the Anunnaki ancient astronauts survived to establish on Earth since their arrival. And before the Anunnaki alien nuclear war, the Sinai Peninsula spaceport was one of the major Anunnaki zones of conflict because the Sinai Peninsula served as a vital Anunnaki ancient astronaut spaceport used for launching Anunnaki astronauts into orbit and maintaining links with the Anunnaki home planet Nibiru. The spaceport was amongst the earliest Anunnaki installations, and it was vital to the ancient astronaut Earth expedition as a whole. As such, even before the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah in the Anunnaki nuclear war, the Sinai Peninsula could not fall into the hands of one group of Anunnaki gods. Rather than let the Anunnaki god Marduk gain control of the spaceport of Sinai, the spaceport's facility, it was agreed by the Anunnaki Council of Ancient Astronaut Gods that nuclear weapons were sent to destroy the spaceport before Marduk's forces overran the Enlil armies defending the spaceport facility. After an intense debate within the halls of the Anunnaki Alien Council, it was resolved to destroy the Sinai spaceport using the Anunnaki nuclear arsenal that had been hidden in Africa when the ancient astronauts first arrived on Earth. The Anunnaki nuclear strike on the Sinai Peninsula spaceport achieved its objective, but unleashed an unforeseen evil wind, which spread nuclear poison into the interior of the Anunnaki civilization, destroying most cities, including Sumer, Sodom, and Gomorrah. However, Marduk's city, Babylon, was not affected by the nuclear wind, which confirmed to the Anunnaki that his victory over Ninurta and the Enlilite faction was the work of destiny. Marduk was thus crowned king, and the rise of Babylon began in earnest after the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah because of the Anunnaki alien nuclear war for supremacy. New study on Sodom and Gomorrah's destruction. After 15 years of excavations and study, archaeologist Christopher R. Moore and his team found evidence that around 1650 BC, a massive meteor burst through Earth's atmosphere near the city of Tal el-Hammam, the location where Sodom and Gomorrah are commonly thought to have existed, and exploded 2.5 miles above the ground, raining fiery debris on the cities below. The ensuing blast was roughly 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb that destroyed Hiroshima, and everything in its wake would have been instantly incinerated as air temperature rose to more than 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. The shock wave that followed a few seconds later raged at speeds of up to 740 miles an hour as deadly winds destroyed whatever the initial blast did not. Ultimately, there is no way to know if the meteor is what God used to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah or if it was something else entirely. And this is On Hows and Whys by Vicky Verma. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.